Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with us back, he's in the house. He doesn't have the contact tracers after him. It's Kage.
Hi there.
Kage, you feeling better now?
Much better. The work that I did outside for a little bit kind of gave me a run for the money.
Yeah, the cold will bite you if you play too hard in the cold. And you weren't playing, you were actually helping somebody out, and yeah, it's not good, huh? Too cold that day.
Well, it was just one of those things where I was honor bound to do it. I said I would do it, and so I had to just go there, get it over with as fast as possible because it wasn't going to do itself.
Well, we're glad you came back and you're doing well. So we've got another good show, another list of stocks. One of the first stocks we're going to talk about, if you didn't catch the show yesterday, we did cover the NSAV news. You can go back and check that out and see where you're at on NSAV news. But today we're going to talk about Fortuna Silver Mines Incorporated. This ticker is FSM, so Frank, Sam, and Mary. Last tick on this one was $3.76. Aftermarket trading has got this at negative 2 cents, which it's aftermarket trading, little playing games. It is one of the top trending stocks in your Google search and in your Yahoo search, according to analytics and site statistics there. So keep that in mind with it trending like that. If you're new to the show, don't go in and buy that. Also, if you are new to trading, beware, because when people are talking about it, you could get taken. Now, the graph on this, the chart, this thing looks pretty healthy. Now, the only thing you want to look at if you're new to trading or things like that is, with silver, the digitized market is completely manipulated there, Kagi. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you right now. Now, the physical is actually the best, and that's where you saw a lot of movement in silver last year, and it was towards the physical. People are still grabbing the physical. So going into this stock there, the chart, like I said, looks healthy. You see a gravitation towards down, but that's just with how these things are. Going into what would you say they do if you don't know what they do? Well, the title says itself, but you have to do a little bit of a little knowledge into it for those who don't. They engage in the exploration of extraction of process of precious metals and base metal in Latin America. So it looks like on this one, guys, you have operations with Peru, Mexico, Argentina. You do have the financial totals on this, which you can go look up online. I do have some of them. Interesting with the numbers from 20 to 2021, silver produced was 7,133,714. That's just with silver in 2020. Looks like in 2019 they had 8,809,767. So Kage, some of that possibly could be pandemic related, would you say?
Possibly, yeah.
Also, you had so sales obviously in 2020 were down from 2019. And then gold metal produced in ounces, 55,349. Versus, interesting enough, in 2019, they actually had less at 50,525. Lead was 29,628 versus 28,746. So, and they also do zinc as well, which zinc was slightly, looks like behind from last year, but that's a little insignificant there, but we'll go with the main thing is here is they are into many different things. They're not one way. When you're thinking they're into silver, they're into many different precious metals there. So okay, so Kage's on StockTwits because that's where the real traders are at, and Kage's going to go over some of the comments and some relevant information that he's found on this company. What do you got so far, Kage?
I'm not seeing many bears for this stock. Like Stock Minnow 3 says, great buy ahead of the exchange. Money graph up, rocket strap in. And it's got a thing for strapping in.
Okay. I've got on the news here on the alphabets. This looks like they have a plug here that says, most recently, December 2021, they have never been cited for pollution or environmental damage. The operation sources its industrial water requirements from the Auckland sewage treatment plant and capture of the storage of rainfall. The mine, the single largest employer in the region of Valles Centrales, provides the district employment to over 1,200 people, which includes approximately 15 women. The company has sustainable development initiatives in various neighboring communities, working with 150 local enterprises. Fortuna maintains the transparent construction dialogue with local stakeholders. So that's good to have a local impact there. What else you got there on this?
Like this one says, Lucid Profit says bullish. At this moment, it makes absolutely no sense not to cover if you're shorting this stock.
Mm-hmm.
A 12-year extension by the Mexicans is massive. Didn't expect this. More upgrades by rating companies will follow.
Mm-hmm. You have specific forecasts as well as value going up, which with all precious metals. If you like with precious metals right now, and I'm not talking about the digitized because that can be manipulated like many people have said, but as far as the actual physical metal of precious metals, as your printing presses of Dolaruskis keeps on going, the precious metal markets are just going to increase and increase and increase. I mean, look at the numbers, Kage, from 2004 up to now, and a lot of people aren't familiar with what's going on with the euro right now as far as the manipulation and things like that back there, and that's been going on for years. But the chickens are coming home to roost with that, and so this might not be a bad stab to check out this company to see where you're at as far as for the buy point. You are in a cheap position right now. It is a low price. It is one of the most talked about stocks right now. So it is being talked about, but you just have to watch where you're at because you don't want to be taken as far as in a promotion week where everybody's talking about it, and then some guys make like 50 cents, 75 cents. Cut their wins and then take off and then leave you hanging. So just you got to find your buy point, your entry point where you want to get in. What else you got from the boys there and girls?
Let's see. This one says FSM. I had to wait a week for funds to be transferred to my investing account. They arrived Friday. I decided to hold off on my share purchase because of the bounce that day from the previous low on Thursday. I'll have to reassess. This is one brutally manipulated stock.
Yeah, and well, they all can be if you don't watch where you're going. That's where you have to watch out is that you can't. There's not one on here that could possibly or might not be. I mean, that's what you got to watch. And as far as with money in your account, you probably should keep some on hand trading if you see a buy that you want to do, but don't make any impulse buys based on what you got from the tea leaf readers out there from some of your big people like Kramer, things like that, throwing out financial advice and things like that. Do your own DD because that's the motto of StockTwits because that's where the real traders are at. And check out. You have to find your buy point. Find your buy point, your entry point. Always do your DD. So you're not ended up in the poorhouse. So what else you got there?
Let's see. Congrats to all those who were smart enough to not listen to the idiot fearmongers. Bullish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You're seeing a lot of this because of buybacks and things like that. You're seeing a lot of people inject fear and everything like that because those fearmongers are trying to get in on the cheap seats. They're trying to get the cheap stock and they're trying to manipulate things. So you'll be in fear, and then you'll sell, and then they'll come back in, and they'll grab your cheap stuff, and then come February, March, April, May, when the new news comes out, and fresh news, and quarter results and things like that, you're stuck, and you're like, dang man, I should have kept that. But you listen to Joey, and Joey freaking told you the wrong thing, and he put fear into you, and you dropped all your stock. So that's that. What else you got?
J Fleming 2 says bullish. Fortuna's silver mines permit has been renewed. Hi ho silver, and it's a picture of raining money.
Yeah. If they keep on where they're going, I mean, obviously with news popping and things like that, this is one to watch to see where it goes. And like I said, digitized, manipulated with the physical, you got something there as far as, but with this it can be. But you just got there are certain ways to get in, and you just have to read about those and find those if you're new. If you're not new to any of this, then you just do what you keep on doing and don't listen to the noise and get your signal there. What else you got there?
don't know if there's anything else more to be said, but I'll look for another one. Hold on just a moment. Jorge A. Gonzoa for Stock Pulse Production says Jorge Gonzoa Fortuna Mines Inc. has a diversified portfolio of quality assets in Latin America. It's got an episode of on this episode of Inside the Markets Extra, Jorge Gonzoa, co-founder, president, and CEO of Fortuna Mines Inc., sits down to discuss the company's 2021 and the challenges they are overcoming. Jorge has been involved in business development at senior levels for several private and public Canadian junior mining companies working in Central and South America. It's got some other things to watch about.
It's good to get their take, and where this way you could see the people associated.
Yeah, taking a look at those links and everything is always good.
Hey, sometimes it's better that you get exposure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's better. At least they're putting themselves out there, and you're getting exposure to who's actually running the company, things like that, and involved in the company, so you get a feel of what's going on. But don't do all the stuff that they say all the time either, because like we've seen this play out with a broken record over and over again. There might be a good look going on, but behind the scenes, I'm not saying that with this company, so I don't want to see any naysayers come back and say, "Oh, dude, you're talking crap." I'm not talking crap about anybody. I'm just saying we see this. Don't judge the book by the cover ever. So, so you have this is the same. The mine got the environmental impact authorization form 6K. That was today. That news broke, and that's what we talked about before. But we're just seeing the alphabets parrot all that. So that's why you're seeing some of the movement here for the Mexico San Jose mine. So that's some of the movement you're seeing. The interesting thing will be to play out as the 2022 year comes about. Kage, will we see movement towards this as deterioration of the dollar continues? As far as, because I see that with silver and gold and all of this, as long as we keep, and we haven't even seen the financial fall from the rest of the markets. A lot of these, as far as news outlets, they're covering all this up because they just want to do happy talk, because that's what they were told from the people, the powers that be, and everything like that everything's all rosy when it's actually not. And you've got lots of dough floating out there, and the printing presses are going, and you can call it what you want. You can call it quantitative easing. You can call it tapering. But things are not going too well. Let's just put it that way. So we're here to tell you that because we don't have any, we're not paid shills. We call it as we see it. And that's not what we're seeing on our end. So, and we have the receipts to prove it. So we always have your receipts to back up what you're talking about. We have the receipts. Okay, guys, the next stock we have, we've covered this before. You're seeing, if you want to go back to some of, websites and things like that of this company, you can go back into our archives and look at the video to introduce you a little bit more to the company. But as far as we're following the trends here and telling you what's going on. So we have OGEN. This is what's important. It's another biopharmaceutical. It is Organics Incorporated. Last tick was 0.51. Now, interesting on Kage on this one, it has the pattern of some of the others, not like the other biopharmas, but it did have the hype because of the treatment. But as you know, with some of these, they follow patterns of news, which is a good thing. And this one is one to put on the watch list and just check out. Looking at the chart, I'm going to put it up here on screen for you there, Kage. This stock was talked about, propped up. It was a top trending stock before in February, and now we have it again because there is some news that I'm going to cover. But one of the first things I'm going to do for you, the price tick on this 0.51. It is a little undervalued for some of the news, but that is subject to change. Going into Organics is a biopharmaceutical company which focuses on development of novel antibiotics and treatments against infectious diseases, oral muscatosis. Its technological pipeline is comprised of antibiotics, genetically engineered bacterial strains, and the company was founded by Jeffrey D. Hillman and Robert T. Can't pronounce his name. In November 1996, is headquartered in Tampa, Florida. So the friendly Tampa Bay. You also have with his name. We don't want to butcher anything on here, do we, Kage, as far as with names? So we're better off just leave it as it is. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's not butcher it. No.
Nah, not butcher it. Let's just go through. I've got some news, interesting news on this that just came out, and this one sent not necessarily the stock going crazy high, but it sent social media, and it also sent you have your trends and your searches are going bonkers over this news. It looks like Organics extends collaboration with the National Research Council of Canada to develop a vaccine against the Omicron variant. So that could be it's noise, but we'll see if the actual signal develops out of that. What do you got on StockTwits? Because that's where the real traders are at. What do you got on there?
OGEN, news on rabbits, Tom. Bullish. And it also has this one. Furry Trade says bullish. OGEN, candles tell the story, and it's got a graph of some candles mostly going up.
Okay, but as far as with bullish, what do you have for actual, like, what are they sharing, like, relevant information? Because I mean, you have some excitement there. That's great that we have an excitement, but as far as like takes go in, what I have here is they announced an extension of licensing collaboration agreement with the National Research Council in Canada, the NRC, that will enable Organics to pursue intranasal vaccine designed to protect against SARS-CoV-2 Omicron variant. The NRC cell expression technologies can provide Organics the platform that can generate cell lines from a yield cell production of spike protein antigens for existing emergence of variants concerned. Now, my first take on this, Kage, is how this will play out with news going down the line. Obviously, this is the first stage in the news. We have the various stages of news. Could you get in at a certain point whenever it's good for you, and then ride this till the next certain months, or do you think this will just die off and this is just another thing where people like speculation? What do you got?
I think it's speculation for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it's just people talk and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hype, of course.
And you're not doing
that's not necessarily the issue, but the important thing is that people are talking about it.
And you're not just doing this for a hot take, right?
No.
I'm just trying to make sure that you're not trying to get people's attention, because you know some people, when you get on here, they're gonna call you out for it on the StockTwits board. So
no.
I'm just
saying usually for news, mostly people talking about it is usually good.
Mm-hmm. It's good,
but not necessarily if it's accurate or
mm-hmm.
not.
And that's always the noise what we were talking about. So you saw that in February with that graph, with that chart, and that was a high spike chart. That was more noise, but obviously the shorters were in, and then the shorters got out. So the problem was with that is that if you got in around that time, you possibly lost some dough if you got in at that buy point there, and most likely you did. If you held tight and you bought in at that buy point time. So that's what we're trying to warn you guys about, is that when this noise comes out, you want to find a decent buy point and not get in when everybody and their dog's talking about it, and why you have, because now with some of this news, you're going to see the promotion. They're just going to fire off emails and do an email blast all over, and you're going to see this thing all over the promotion list. It's going to be showing up at an email box near you, is what I'm thinking. The platform says it'll allow the production of cell lines between 6 to 8 weeks, a spike gene sequence available to compared to 6 to 9 months of traditional production of such cell lines. The NRC Technologies developed will support NRC's Pandemic Response Challenge program that will expedite the evaluation of the Omicron Terra-CoV-2 candidate in preclinical studies. So you have that. There also looks like Frederick W. Telling says, Organics Executive Chairman, we have anticipated the rapid development of the vaccine candidates against new variants and can leverage the NRC cell expression platform to address the Omicron future variants. That looks like in this, they're in GLP toxicology study and a first human phase 1. So they're in phase 1. If they get more specific development going on and on, you could see more news on this popping. If you also want to know, that's not the only thing they do. So they're not just riding this wave, Kage. They're also riding other waves of other things in the pipes that they got cooking. And you can go to their pipeline. We've covered that in other shows, but we don't have enough time to where we're going to go into detail of more things. But you can, or you could go back to the other video and check out what we covered in the pipeline, because I believe we covered this several times. We were told about this stock probably towards the early part of the show when we first started, but last April was our friends over in Advise Analytics. They sent us over a bunch of, so we knew about this already, and we did various shows about it. But I'm not surprised by this news coming out about this one. Are you?
No.
No. What other sentiment from the real traders on StockTwits? Because you guys need to know is the reason why we do this. Some people are like, well, why do you go to what they say and things like that? Because you need to know what retail traders are saying and there's guys in there that are making decent income, and they know their stuff as far as from these, and so they can give you their takes without any of some of the manipulation that you're seeing on chat boards and things like that. Not saying that there isn't manipulation on StockTwits, but you at least get a decent feel when we go through the list and we talk about what real traders are saying. So what else do you got on there as far as relevancy?
There's this one guy, I think he's just being a kind of a dick or something.
Mm-hmm.
He says, OGEN, garbage, big scam. Let's catch more bag holders with this news. Where's the vaccine?
Well, he's just. I think his frustration. He possibly could have got in on that high point as far as when the resistance was there, and then the sell off. He could have got there, and so he's probably a long holder, but. That's possible scenario there. They did have, there's a week ago plug on Yahoo Finance. It says, this was from Business Wire. It says, Organics to participate in a virtual fireside chat hosted by Alliance Global Partners. So that was some of the news there. You can read in and to look into that. And then you have investor observers pouring in about some of this news. And yeah, all the alphabets are talking about it. So you're going to see more news with this, with the alphabets. You are also going to see, as far as the next, probably going to be riding up until, I would say, because it's kind of a weird news week and everything like that. So just beware. I would say you're probably going to see this one. There's going to be a lot of shorts going on, and hopefully they don't pull a cash out before Christmas and dump out, and because you're going to see the email buttons and the emails go out crazy for the pump and dump promote, don't you think?
Yeah. It just always seems to happen like toward the end of the year for most stocks.
Yeah. So I mean, with this, these are the safer plays. I'm not saying there's no risk, but these are a little bit more of the safer plays. So interesting enough, Kage, an interesting hit I just saw 3 weeks ago. This one did show up on pennystocks.com, which a lot of people go to, and that's where a lot of your promotions come out to. They were correct on this one, interesting enough, that when the variant came out, they were saying it was on their watch list. So, but now you're going to see that they're going to say, hey, check out our alert because we were already on this, and that's going to give them some clout on that. So they do have their picks, and they are picking those things up in their algorithms. What else do you got on StockTwits there? Do you have any others besides that other bear? Do you have anything as far as with information they're providing or funny stuff, or what do you got?
I think this one's pretty good. Primetime2321 says OGEN bearish. I think good things are brewing. Fireside chat was positive. Inside buys Friday. Extension of agreement with Canada and Rabbit results this week.
Yeah.
Honestly, the news today was bullish and great, but not enough to send it flying into orbit. However, add in some more positive news this week, and I think we get some real movements.
Yeah.
Be patient. You don't want to miss the inevitable rise to 1+.
Yeah.
History repeats itself, and OGEN always makes the climb. Now, holding the gains is a different story, but we will cross that bridge when we get back over a buck. Well,
yeah. So yeah, what you're gonna want to do is look where you're gonna get in. if you're getting in. Find out what your buy point is, and just watch it. And if you're already in, then you might as well just you know what you got to do. Anyway, I'm out. Okay, so you got one relevant comment you just found there.
Yeah, from Rocket Queen. She says bullish. OGEN headed back up. Looking forward to when they release the formal publication of the results, including the specifics about the science/technology advance.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, as this news progresses, if you're already in, obviously you're gonna do what you got to do to ride the wave to try to get if you're cashing out this week or doing whatever, and then you're getting back in at a cheap point. But if you're riding the wave, you're gonna get more breaking news from this. Eventually, they have to find something with the phase 2, but this could all be noise too. We've seen this pattern before. But eventually there has to be if there's movement come along, we'll just have to see how it plays out. I got a funny one. This guy right here, Rolo 10, it's hilarious. He put rabbit results. He put OMG. He put idiots. I have swampland to sell you in Florida. That one.
What's swampland good for?
Yeah, exactly right. There's a lot of people are moving to the swampland. I wonder why. Maybe it might be freedom or something like that. I think I heard. I'm not sure. So
a lot of alligators out there waiting to surprise you, chomp, and then death roll you.
It looks like it says Organics Incorporated director was just granted 75,000 in options. There was a conference call transcripts he posted. Looks like Central Scripts brought that one up. So that one's one to look at if you're looking at that conference call there to see. I also have Primetime 2321 says, I see earlier we're dropping to close 50. Don't sweat at the news. It wasn't a true catalyst or big gains. It was literally an extension, just like the college professor ends extending the deadline for a paper by next week. And although the dope will still work at it and try to put it in. Rabbit news and human trails is what we need for some real results. So there you go. There's his take, which is a great take there. So like again, he said, why do we read these takes? We read these takes because you're getting actual comments of what real traders are saying, and not some butthead on the news that's got lots of buddies that are trying to get him to prop it up so they make money on the side. So there you go. Okay, guys, the next stock I have is CANF. CANF. It's the world Kage of biopharmaceuticals. Can-Fite Biopharma Ltd. Last tick was $1.86 after hours. It ended the market at $2.15 year to date. The chart on this one year to date is actually pretty healthy if you want to go and take a look at that there. Going into what would you say they do here, Kage? They're a biopharmaceutical company which engages in development of drugs for cancer, inflammatory disease. Its product pipeline includes the CF602 for, didn't you say for liver cancer treatment?
I believe so, yes. You want me to read that comment?
Yeah, they have that in the pipeline, and I'm just going to go on to the website and check out what they got cooking on there as well. You found some interesting comments on StockTwits because that's where the real traders are at?
Mm-hmm. Hood Investing says CANF, bull flag and descending triangle formations on the hourly chart. Could be a breakout soon. Keeping an eye here tomorrow.
Okay. I've got on the website, they're an Israeli biopharmaceutical company, fully integral pharmaceutical discovery and clinical development capabilities. Can-Fite platform technologies includes GI protein associated A3 adenosine receptor, and the therapeutic target A3AR is highly expressed in inflammatory cancer. Hey guys, so interesting items in the pipeline here we got there, Kage. They are in phase 3. Interesting enough, in a psoriasis pipe in the pipes there, they have liver cancer and NASH. In that one, they're in phase 3 as well. So that is two deals there. And the reason why you're seeing this popping is just because of obviously the news, which we're going to cover. But in this, the reason why you're seeing some of the sell-off, you shouldn't be scared about that. It's just that some of the people are seeing some of the profits made because we're seeing this on promotion lists, and they're seeing this in their algorithms in their computers If you're not familiar with this, for some of you that have been doing this for years, you don't need to. I mean, you already know all that stuff. But this is they're just taking their winnings and they're busting loose. They're getting their Christmas gifts with it and stuff like that. Interesting enough too, there, Kage, they have a cannabinoids deal in the pipeline that's ongoing. They haven't hit preclinicals on that, and then they also have an ED, erectile dysfunction, preclinical as well. So they haven't hit phase 1 with that. As you see them go through their phases, like we've talked about before, Kage, with news popping in the different phases of the pipelines that they have, as the news goes along throughout the years and months, you make coin, and that also protects you most of the time for let's just say economic conditions when when some of your companies there are not doing too hot because of employment shortages and because of piss poor management of economics. And we can point to all of them, not one section, but all of them all around. And we'll just leave it at that. So like I said on this show, Kage, we don't carry the cooler for anybody, do we?
No.
No.
Not at all.
We're not taking a paycheck or nothing. We're just calling as they see it, and we're saying it straight there. So what do you got from the Reals Traders on StockTwits? Why check out the news before going on to any more of the site, because it's about the science, and science. That's going to be my Dr. Slouchy impression for the day.
I'm seeing mostly bulls for this one. Like this one, for example. Rodrigo A92 says bullish. CANF CEO says there is no dilution in her interviews. Man, these kids lying here must have no life. Check her interview. She says it in other interviews as well. No offerings. There was not an offering today either.
Mm-hmm. So, that's another thing to say. Well, why do you read the comments? Because some people in the comments section, some people listening to the show might not have that news. That news might be covered. That's not going to be on your first page of Google. It ain't going to be on your Google machine either. So that's the reason why we say the comments, and that's why I have Kage pick and look for the important comments, because a lot of people didn't know. So any trolls that are out there that are trying to say, why did you put that on there and why do you do that, is because we want to cut through all of the noise and get to the signal, and that's one of the signals that you have as far as that you get that information. So I'm on to the regular alphabets. We're here on Business Wire, and it says that looks like with their liver patient, the liver cancer patient treated with Can-Fites clears all cancer lesions with the liver there under the open label extension of the phase 2 study. So that's huge right there in itself. So they're making progress with the phase 2 study. As it moves to the phase 3, you're going to get some of that action right there if the news is positive. So with that, that's great news right there. And it's great for another thing like I've talked about with these stocks, Kage, is not only are you, I mean, because if you're just going to throw money at things, some of this you can help humankind by investing in some of these, because you're helping with studies to try to help human beings in the future, so to help them make them better, so at least, or live with things so they're not suffering. That's the other thing we discuss on this show, is that that's one of the advantages of investing in some of these companies. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, definitely the research is definitely supposed to be answering those questions.
Yeah.
How do we deal with these bad cells that seize organs?
The mutant ones, yeah.
Thing that known as cancer.
But the other thing is, I'm not just saying go in and throw money into something you don't know about. You have to do your investigations and things like that. So you have to do. I was just caught off guard by the screensaver we have on in the studio, Kage. We're working on with some of our TVs and things like that, which we're going to have behind us soon. But you got some of the lighting in the background is like flashing, like it's getting all fancy smancy, because we're getting geared up here, so for the future. Anyway, it looks like the small molecule drugs that address inflammatory cancer and liver diseases today announced that the last patient treated under the open label extension program concluded its phase 2 study for the treatment of hepatocellular carcinoma, the most common form of liver cancer, experienced a complete response. Can-Fite drug, meaning that all cancer lesions have been cleared. Under the treatment, the patient has now survived 5 years. During the time, the clinical benefits of treatment included in the disappearance of ascites and normal liver function and the disappearance. Man, that would have been nice for one of my friends at one of my old coworkers, where her husband he actually passed away from that. So that's awesome that they keep on making that advance. Hopefully that'll save other people that are having those problems. What do you got from the real traders there, as far as with what any other takes they got?
This one, Trippard says bullish. CANF. Lots of shares bought today will not be resold, and more tomorrow and next.
Mm-hmm.
Investment stock curing cancer is big for us, bad for industry.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. That'll be the next thing. There is, as the advance comes with some of these companies, how many how many things will try to be to downplay and things like that too, because. If, like you said, if they don't have anybody to treat, then they're not in business anymore. And this happened. This is one of the biggest things that people talk about all the time with some of your prescription drugs. They always have to have a problem because they got to treat it, and they got to make the dollarooskies. So that's their thing. And so we call that out too. So it looks like the complete response from HCC in advanced stage of rare, highly beneficial result in the field of liver cancer treatment. They're pleased that has contributed to the restored health and quality of life of patient and family, and are hope the upcoming pivotal phase 3 study. So that's something that we will be looking at, Kage, in the months upcoming, because we pay attention to everything we talk about. We don't just we go through, and if we see it popping again, we're going to go see where we left off last time. Like I said, some of these we have memorized there. All the alphabets are talking about the study. That's good news that patient is succeeding. I'm glad that they had that announcement there before Christmas, and I'm sure that's why. So if you saw it go down after hours, that's because that was the Christmas cash out from some people that got it on the cheap. That's why we say, right, Kage, don't panic when you see some of these shills on TV and they're just like, oh, don't you should sell this and sell that, or my financial advisor told me to sell that. You better do some analyzation yourself before someone tells you to sell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What else you got on StockTwits there?
There's a few bears in this one. Like this one, Mad Volume says bearish. CANF. You all know the drill with these. Back under $1.50 by week's end with a whole new set of delusional bag holders.
That's interesting there.
Yeah, and I thought that we should have a balance with it. We're not all doing bulls with the
no.
We're trying to put things in perspective and give you a fair shake on what people are saying.
This is definitely not the show where you're going to see people carrying the cooler for companies or for other traders. And we're going to cover both sides, because that's what you need to see. You need to see all angles of what's going on here before you make a decision, before you get into this. It's funny, like I said, we've been accused before of, oh, you guys are pushing that. We're not pushing anything. We're just covering all sides of the angle so you can get a take. We're not just going to run numbers to you and everything like that. There's other shows you can go do that. We're giving you the takes of the traders, and a lot of them. This is one of my favorite ones here, because it's Harry and Lloyd. So there's Lloyd Christmas, and then there's Harry, and he's wiping his face with all the money there, and he's crying with it. I love it, dude. So. He said he's holding all of his shares for the next leg up, and he's wiping himself with all the $100 bills. So that's our buddy, our Harry, old buddy, old pal. So that's your buddy Harry on there. So what else you got there?
Let's see. One moment.
While you're looking up that, there is a link.
Looking through this CANF, WTH. It's the holiday season. Covered my 2.13 short at 1.95. Never a greedy bear, just a profitable one. Yeah,
exactly. So that's the thing, is you can throw out things about how you're sad and everything like that, but if you got out too early and you didn't make it, that's your deal. So I got an interesting take, because it's not just the liver thing, but with the cannabinoids thing, it looks like you have Kristen NKFH says, Can-Fite completes development of assay to identify clinically active cannabis derived compounds. He did post the link in that chat there, so you guys can go check that out. that he posted the link from stockhouse.com and News and Press. So you can actually go in and check that out. You know what the hey, we might as well, what the hell, we might as well go and look at it there. So, Kage, that's all I pretty much have on this one. If you have anything more relevant, we'll just have to see how this one plays out. There are several other items in this stock there with the pipeline that they have. So going into those two that we covered, you can see that you do have extra deals in there that you have to look at over time, not just the liver study. So that gives you more as far as chances and to hit to make your next grab there. Some people got the Christmas grab. They got the Christmas present early. It happens, So it's happened to me before. It actually happened, I think, 2 weeks ago. I think so. But anyway, what else you got?
I don't really have anything else to really say about this.
No, just watch.
There's just a lot of bears looking, and there's a lot of speculation. There are a few sourpusses out there that want to buy the cheap stuff, and
yeah. There's going to be sour patches with all of it, but the sour patches are good too because they also give you the other aspect. And because when you go on some of these boards, there's just all roses and peaches and everything like that. You get this way, you have all the angles before you go out and throw your hard-earned money at some of these deals. So you got to know what you're doing there. So you got anything to add?
Yeah. Don't always throw your money at the wall to see what sticks. So do your research,
do your DD.
Make an informed decision, and cross your fingers and know when you have had enough.
And don't make it a dog show. And good night now!
Good night.